Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear first year students. Hope you all are fine. So today the topic that we are going to study, that is Unit 10, which is a poem, and the world is too much with us, written by William Wordsworth. So students, as you already know that recently we have discussed this topic and this poem we have discussed in detail in previous days, but now we are left with the reading comprehension of this poem. So let's move towards the exercise or the reading comprehension of the poem The World is Too Much With Us. So you need to have books in front of you. Take out page 95 kindly so that we may discuss each and every question in detail. Now students, the first question on page 95, what is the theme of The World is Too Much With Us and how is it developed in the poem? So now students, you can see that question number 1 and 3rd are almost same. What has made people insensitive to the beauty of the nature? So the points or the things which we are going to study, so that is the answer of the unit of the question first and question 3rd. So first let's move towards the theme, that what are the different themes which are discussed by the poet in this poem. The first very important point that William Wordsworth, what he's talking about, that man and the natural world. In simple words, the main theme of this poem is that the William Wordsworth, he has beautifully described the relationship of the human being with the nature, that how today's modern man is busy in getting and in spending too much, but even they are not appreciating, they are not praising the nature, even they are not giving importance to the natural objects which exist with them or which are actually created for a human being on this world by God. So this is what he is saying, that, and he is doing the very severe criticism on the behavior and the relationship of the human being with the nature. The second main important theme of this poem is also that is about the technology and modernization. Like students, in this poem you can also write that the theme is also about the technology and modernization in this, again it's a severe criticism on a human being, that today's the modern world, it has been done, they are successful so rapidly and they are on the peak of success, but still human beings, they did not done any kind of technology, or they are still very much more far away from the peak of success of the technology, as they are not having any importance towards the nature. They are just believing, or they are just having they are just believing on the modern technology, and they are having the lust for power, they are having the lust for wealth, they are having the lust for fame. Every human being is all the time thinking about the invention, so that how may we become a powerful, how we become a financial strong. But again, William Wordsworth, this is what he is saying, that today's modern man and today's society of the modern technology is just busy in the modernization, in the technology, and all those things which are not permanent. The next theme which he is talking about, that is about the sadness. Actually, sadness is a theme in a sense that the speaker of the world is too much with us is not happy about the way things are, and he makes no secret of it. He thinks he have given our hearts away, and eventually exclaims, "Great God!" In simple words, he wanted to say that the world is too much with us means we are too much involved and we are too much absorbed in the worldly affairs. We are too much involved in the worldly things, so that the human being, today's human being, is materialistic. They are greedy, they are just having the material minded, they are just having the money minded. So no one is bothering about the care of the nature, love of the nature. Even they are denying and they are ignoring all the natural objects. So that's why the theme of the poem, you can also say that it was about a sadness, but again the whole things revolves around the human behavior. The next theme, that is about mortality. Nothing is literally dead in. The world is too much with us, but the speaker suggests that humanity's alienation from nature is a kind of double death, because people are obsessed with getting on. Again, he's talking about the about the moral values, that today's human being, we should consider them just equal to the dead one, because they are not observing, or in fact they are not observing the things very keenly, that what is the purpose of these these blessings on this earth, what is the purpose of all these inventions. We are just believing and we are just very happy about those creation and invention which is created by a human being, but we are not giving importance to those creations and inventions which is actually invented or created by nature, means by God. So that's why these were the different themes that has been discussed by the poet in this poem. Now students, you can see the question number, the tone of the poem, that is the question number second. What is the tone of the poem? The world is too much with us. The tone of the poem that we've already discussed in detail, that actually nature, materialism and loss, and the world is too much with us. The speaker describes humankind's relationship with the natural world in term of loss. So it means that the tone of this poem is desperate, arguing, and human man's original relationship with nature cannot be revived. This is what we have already explained in the themes. Now students, the most important question of this poem is, actually all the questions are important, but the remaining question, that is question number 4, question number 5 and question number 6, all these 3 questions are about the literary devices. So students, first of all you need to understand that what are the some poetic devices that used in the poem The World is Too Much With Us that enhance the meaning of the poem. Like definitely I already explained all these things in detail, that what is the purpose of the literary devices, why the poets use these figurative devices, why the poets use these figurative techniques in the poetry, what's the reason behind it. So in The World is Too Much With Us, Wordsworth uses a number of literary devices to reinforce his key idea, definitely in order to give stress, in order to emphasize the main ideas on the key words that actually he want to convey that message to the human being. So in order to make his poetry more attractive, more understandable, more authentic to the human senses, that's why he has used the different literary techniques and the different figures of speech in his poem. So you can see that the setting of the poem, for example, is important because it creates an idyllic and romantic view of nature. Romantic view of nature, like there are few words and there are few scenes that he has discussed in the poem which gives a very romantic view. So here, in an undisclosed location by the sea, Wordsworth encourages the reader to enjoy nature and all she has to offer. Now students, if we talk about the literary techniques, so there are few literary techniques used by the poet William Wordsworth in poem The World is Too Much With Us, but the main important literary techniques that has been used by the poet in this poem is personification. First, let me tell you that what do you mean by personification, students? Actually, personification means that when we give the human qualities or the human characteristics to objects and animals. Again, you can see another clear definition. Personification is a given human quality to animals or object. Now let's move towards the poem कि अब poem में poet ने कौन सी personification use की है. So there is personification in the poem. Like Wordsworth says that the sea that bears her bosom, you can see in the first stanza, the 5th line, the sea that bears her bosom to the moon. This is the best example of the personification. Then in the next line, you can see the winds that will be howling at all hours. This is the best example, and sleeping flowers. So now students, all of these makes nature seen human, real, suffering and sleeping vulnerable. And to all of nature's beauty, Wordsworth says that we have become out of tune. We have become out of tune means that we are not praising the nature, and even we are not giving any kind of attention or concentration to the natural objects. Again, I'm explaining the best 3 examples of personification in this poem is sea that bears her bosom. Bosom means chest, right? And as he is using here the pronoun her, so he is using her pronoun and bosom word in order to appreciate the beauty of the sea. So that's why this is a quality characteristic related to the human being. Same is the case with the howling at all hours. Howling it, again, it's a quality, something related to the human being. And the sleeping flowers, flowers cannot sleep, but in order to give the human characteristic quality sleeping to the flower, actually he wants to bring the attention of the readers. Students, the next literary technique which has been used by the poet or the figure of speech, that is oxymoron. What do you mean by oxymoron? Oxymoron is actually a figure of speech in which 2 words with opposing meaning are used together intentionally for a fact. In order to better understand this definition more, let me explain or let me give you few more examples. Students, oxymoron ka matlab ye hai that when two words stand together but those two single words have different opposite meaning. For example, big baby. Now just see the meaning. Big ek taraf pe big keh rahe, dusre side pe baby keh rahe. So big baby, this is the example of the oxymoron because the two same words standing together give the opposite meaning. Same is the case with alone together. Alone together, ek side pe together or ek side pe alone. So both words are having different meaning. Open secret, best example of oxymoron. Passive aggressive, original copy, defining silence. Clearly confused. Ek side pe clearly keh rahe, ek side pe confused. So when these two words stand together, actually it's a meaning of the oxymoron. And living dead is also the best example of oxymoron. Now students, let's move towards the oxymoron examples used in the poem. So you can see in addition Wordsworth employs an oxymoron in the fourth line of the poem when he mentions a sordid boon. Second, like you can see the first stanza, fourth line, a sordid boon. What do you mean by sordid boon? The word boon means a blessing or an asset, but the word sordid suggests something seedy or unsavory. Matlab something like sordid means dirty, vile, selfish. Jabki on the other hand, the boom, it means like helpful or beneficial. So again, the two words standing together having opposite meaning. This is also the best example of oxymoron. So this is significant because it reinforces his beliefs that people have wrongly abandoned nature in favor of more materialistic pursuits. This is what I already explained, that besides even instead of giving importance and care and love towards nature, they are just in favor. Today's human being, today's the modern man is busy and they are in favor of more materialistic pursuit of getting more and more and spending more and more. This is what they are busy in all these activities all the time. Finally, Wordsworth uses personification to bring nature to life in the poem. So the sea, for instance, yes, this is what I already explained. The best example of the personification is in the first stanza and the fifth line. That is the sea, for instance, like bears her bosom to the moon, which implies that nature is there waiting for us to appreciate her beauty. So as such, Wordsworth uses personification like a call or action, encouraging his reader to reconnect with nature. So now students, all these were the figurative and the poetic devices. Iske alawa imagination is also used, this literary device is also used by the poet in his poetry. Lekin ye hai ke the whole poem you can say that it is based on the imagination. Now students, let's move towards the last question of this poem. Write down the rhyming scheme of the poem, The World is Too Much With Us. So the rhyming scheme, this is what I have already explained it to you in detail, that how you will find and how you will identify the rhyming scheme of each and every poem. But here is a hint and clue for you that the rhyming scheme of this poem is A, B, B, A, B, B, A, C, D, C, D and C, D. This Italian or Petrarchan sonnet uses the last 6 lines succinct to answer the first 8 lines octave. No need to go through the last lines, just you can skip these lines, but as they are just asking about the rhyming scheme, so you can go through the stanza, the ending words of each and every line, soon, pars, ours, boon, moon, ours, flower. You can identify these rhyming scheme by your own self. Otherwise, you can just take help from this slides. So students, hope that today's lecture is clear to you. And still, if you have any kind of confusion or if you want to ask anything related to the reading comprehension of this poem, so kindly you can text me in a private inbox, and I'm all the time available. But now students, the main important thing that I need to highlight is that what you have to do, that as we have done the detailed explanation of the whole poem during working days in class, and now we have studied the reading comprehension right now. So what you have to do, just like before the things which I gave you normally for the writing activity. So in your English neat registers, you have to write all these question answers of this poem in your own words, very neatly and very tidy. बहुत अच्छी तरीके से अच्छी presentation के साथ आपने ये सारे question answers attempt करने हैं. So students, hope that today's lecture is clear to you, and kindly do your assignment, do your homework on time, and get ready for the next lecture that will be inshallah sent to you in a coming days. So take care till next lecture. Take care and Allah Hafiz.